Hello, beautiful people. It is Frater Zygmunt, and it is time to make another admissions badge for the Golden Dawn, the Practicus Grade. Today, we're going to be making a very simple one, the Tetrahedron, the Solid Triangle, the Pyramid of Flame. We're going to be making it out of cardstock, and it's going to look something like this little red pyramid we have right here. So this is what we're going to try to end up with. We're going to design on a piece of paper printed out at cardstock at the local office supply store, and then cut it out and glue it together. And hopefully, when we are done, we'll have a nice little pyramid at the end. And it's nothing too fancy, but takes a little bit of work, put a little bit of effort into it, make it our own, and that's what we're going to do. So this first part of the video is going to be me designing the sheet that I'm going to be printing out. I'm going to be putting it up on my website so that anybody else could also do that. I've done this once before with a solid Greek cubical cross. You can find this on my website. And it's on 2 pages. You print out these 6 pieces, you glue together with the white tabs, and you end up with something like this. And I'll probably have to do a video on how to put this one together, because this one's a little complicated compared to what we're going to do today. But that's what we're going for. Over here, these are the sources I'm using. Of course, I am following the Liam Thomas Christopher Curriculum in Kabbalah Magic and the Great Work of Self-Transformation, a complete course. The LTC Curriculum. And like I said, I'm in the Practicus Grade. This is part of my Practicus Grade work, although this specifically is not in there. I'm just adding it in because I like making admission badges, and this one's really simple and really won't take me very long. And then our other main source for today is The Magician's Craft, Creating Magical Tools by Chick Cicero and Sandra Tabitha Cicero. This book is a little expensive, I see. It's out of print. I happen to have a copy from when it was in print, and it served me pretty well over the years. But I reference it pretty often in a lot of what I'm doing. I may share a little bit from it, but not too much. I don't want to violate anyone's copyright over here. But yeah, here we go. The Tetrahedron, Solid Triangle, Pyramid of Flame. So this is what we're going to do. I am going to let's just put this up here. And this we might still want to hold on to. Is this grouped? No. Okay. Let's group that. And then let's just make it a small little thing. Put it over here in the corner. All right. This we probably won't need, but we can just hide it for now. Okay. And we can just hide the little triangle too. All right. So the first thing we need is the tetrahedron, which is going to be pretty simple to make. We go to the polygon tool, drag out, and then we hit the down key. So that's pretty nice. Why don't I give it a black stroke? How was that? That's good to start. All right, so now we need to make, we hold Alt, we can make another one. And then we need to rotate this here, and we want to rotate it 60 degrees. Yep, that's correct. Boom. And then we can literally just keep doing that because we can use the copy tool. So we want to rotate here, this anchor, copy. And then do we want to do it again? We want it on this. Actually, I think we do want it on. Just trying to think in my head how this goes together. Yeah, we do want it on this side. Boom. Boom. All right. That's pretty simple. Okay, so then the next thing We got these little points sticking out here. They do all seem to be pretty lined up. Yep, I did a pretty good job. All right, so how do we get rid of these points? Lower the stroke. Not really. We can round the point. It does do stuff. Hey. And if we go back to it too. Beautiful. All right. And now we want to make this as big as possible on the sheet without it getting too big. Let's turn on some rulers here. Let's put on some guides. Inch on each side. Put in a little bit of margins here. I could have done a snap to grid, but that's good enough. All right. And then let's group this. But this is all one. Oh, shoot. You go grab this guide and grouped it. No. My guide's not locked. I said, let's make this as big as possible so that our final result is as big as possible. We're only going to have a letter size sheet of paper here. So it's going to be a little wonky. Okay, there we go. So now the next thing is we want to put on the little tabs for the stuff to glue together. So it's going to fold here, here, here. So this side is going to connect to this side, and this is going to be the bottom. So we're going to have a tab on here and a tab on here. So we only really need 3 tabs, and the tabs are pretty easy to make. We want the line segment tool. Let's make a new layer for these tabs. And let's lock that. Even though it's not visible. So when we're making the tabs, we want to keep in mind, I don't necessarily want to go all the way to the edge, I've discovered. Because, you only have so much space over here. So, like, we're going to go in a little bit. Up. Oh, you know what? This is not the line segment. What I'm talking about. Pen tool. Here we go. We'll go to that there. Ale doesn't terribly matter. You do want to shift here. Boom. All right, and this one really should be white, so that it's not confusing. And we're going to definitely put these under. Boom, just like that. Now we can take this, copy it, and we need to rotate it. Let's try that again. All right, let's get a copy. Object. Transform. Rotate. 60 degrees. Let's do a copy, and then let's take this. My goodness. Okay. Rotate. We want to do negative 6 this time, I believe. Oh, actually, that's not true. We want to do 120. That is correct. That goes right there. Is that it? Hold on. So this side connects here. Hold on. So this tab connects to here. This tab comes under and connects to here. This tab connects to here. Yep, that's it. There's 6 sides essentially, and 3 tabs. So that's the whole tetrahedron. So, yeah, this is the tetrahedron. Here we go. So this is what they say about it in the Cicero book. The solid triangle, pyramid of flame, or tetrahedron is the admission badge for the 31st path of Shin in the 3 = 8 grade of Practicus. It is an appropriate hieroglyph of fire, representing the simple fire of nature and the hidden or latent fire. It is formed of 4 triangles, 3 visible and 1 concealed, yet which is the synthesis of the rest. The 3 visible triangles represent solar fire, volcanic fire, and astral fire, while the 4th and basal triangle represent latent heat. Active fire is Aub, passive fire is Aub, equilibrated fire is Aur, while the Hebrew name of fire itself is Achsh. The Sefer Yetzirah calls the 31st path from Malkuth to Hod the perpetual intelligence, because it regulates the motions of the sun and moon in their proper order, each in an orbit convenient for it. For the initiate traveling this path, the key is perpetual. This is the persistent regulation of the progress of the initiate's personality toward the cosmic consciousness. The angelic powers called forth by the student journeying upon the tree determines what aspects of the initiate are unsuitable for his or her spiritual growth. These undesirable qualities are slowly burned away by the purging fire of Shin. This permits the sun and moon of the initiate, i.e. the positive and negative sides of the student, to work, quote, each in their proper order. So yeah, hopefully you understood some of that. You studied this stuff for a while, you probably get what they're talking about. But if you haven't, it's probably gobbledygook. I know that's what it was like when I first started, but slowly it opens up and unfolds to you as you study it. And sometimes the most simple statements turn out to be incredibly profound. So we're going to go print this out, and then when we come back, I'm going to show you how to put this together. Take care. All right, so we're back here. I made a little bit of an adjustment. Okay, hold on. All right, we're back. I've gotten my design printed out. No, hold on. Let me start this over. All right, we're back, or maybe you jumped ahead to this point, but in any case, we've got our design printed out. I did a little modification and made the tetrahedron to fill the page as much as possible. So we've done that, moved a few things around, but it's mostly the same. And it's just bigger. I also made the tabs a little bit bigger so that they had more surface area to connect with. So this is sort of a test run. I might make a few more adjustments. Like I'm thinking maybe these lines are a little too thick. But we'll see how this goes, and everything should be pretty much the same for the construction. So the first thing we want to do with this is collect all the materials that we'll need. So we're going to need an X-Acto knife. I've got some extra blades. We're going to use straight edge to make our lines. You'll also want to get a pin. This is from my sewing kit. So a pin is going to be really helpful. Some glue to put it all together. Get some schmutz off my board here. Okay. I also, handy tip, I made 2 copies just in case I mess up one. Because I made 2 copies, I will not mess up, usually. But if you only make one, you will mess up. So that's the little trick you need to know. So make 2 copies. This is printed on cardstock. I just did it at my local office supply store. So here we go. It's a nice laser printed copy. And only cost a few bucks. So the first thing we're going to do is take one of these pins and make some score marks. So basically we're going to be folding along these lines and along these lines. So what you want to do is wherever you're going to make a fold, just, on the outside, make a little hole. And then we're going to make a little hole over here. Right on the edge, right of where you're going to cut it out. You don't want to be on the inside where you're going to be folding too much. There we go. Some sturdy cardstock. All right, here we go. Also trying not to poke my fingers as well. So, be very careful with this whenever you're using blades, pointy things. It could go bad. Let me say I've been doing this sort of stuff for a really long time, and yes, I have cut myself, and no, it is not fun. I've never needed any stitches, but it does happen. So, okay, so we've got those main lines marked, and then we're going to do this one, and that one, and we have these tabs. I try to get really precise, and you can get really precise with a pen because it's so small. But take your time. Also, it doesn't have to be perfect. You are making a little pyramid out of cardstock. It's not going to be perfect. If you wanted a perfect one, go take up woodworking. Go take up 3D printing. But for us, this will suit our purposes just well. Boom. Okay, so we got pins. So why did we make little pinholes? Let's put this back on here. We won't need that anymore. And you flip it over, and we have these marks here. And what you do is... Now I'm trying to remember which ones are which. Okay. So... I'm just going to take our straight edge, line it up with our pinholes. That isn't the right one. Hold on. I really need to make sure I'm doing the right one. So this one and... Okay. These 2 are pinholes. Move that up a little bit. And to score, you take the back of the X-Acto knife, or you can press very lightly with the front, but I like the back. And just go over a couple times. Don't press. Just kind of drag it over the paper, and it'll make a little mark. I don't know if you can see that. But there's one. And then we're going to have another one over here. So these are for the tabs that we use to glue this whole thing together. You said just drag it across. Don't really push. Just push enough to move it. Okay? Then the next one is, hold on, we did that, we need this one. So that's these 2 marks. And it's good that all our dots line up over here because they are all on the same line on the other side. Just 3 little scores. Boom. All right. Now, we want to do these 3 lines here. Sounds like one of my partners got home. So if you hear some footsteps, I apologize. Our walls are paper thin in this place. Well, you might hear the neighbors too. Sometimes they say interesting things. All right, so we'll go here. Just score that line. This will make life easier in the long run. And then we want to go from here to here. And then finally, am I in the right place? What is this mark here? Is that just some schmutz I got in here? Yeah, I'm getting some schmutz on here. It's okay. Maybe I should have cleaned all my stuff before I started, but oh well, here we are now. I have done many a project on these cutting boards. Use this ruler with this knife. Okay, so those are all our score lines. I'm not really sure if you can see that, but there they are. So we're going to take this side, and now we're going to use the actual blade of the X-Acto knife and cut this out. So tips for cutting things out. 1, be very careful. Always try to cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. You're going to have to do stuff like put your hands down, the whole thing. So make sure, like if you're holding something, put your hand on this side. So let's just go ahead and start with this little line over here. Also, a pro tip is to have wherever you're cutting into be the part that you don't care about, that you're trying to cut out. Your line is nice and straight, and then you can just go ahead and cut. This one's just, you don't have to be too precise because it goes out into the white area. And then here, I want to cut into the white area, so let's get in there. There's a few little slots. This one will go very easily too. You can see a lot of the back of my head, I guess. All right. All right, that's the first tab. Then we just go around. Cut it out. Hopefully I don't cut myself. That would be awkward and embarrassing. And I might get blood on my project, which I do not want to do. As always, I'm trying to cut out into the white part whenever possible, not into the tetrahedron. And a good little tip is if you cover up the design with your straight edge, you have a much less chance of actually going into that part of your design and messing it up. But sometimes it's more advantageous to do it from the other side. So you'll just have to judge. Generally, cutting away from your design is better, more priority. But if you have the option, try to cover up. Try to cut away from your design. Try to cover up your design with the straight edge. Man, when I was a kid, I loved doing Papercraft models. Like, was it Dover Publications would just print out like, oh, here's a cathedral. Now cut out all the little pieces and glue it together. I used to love that stuff. Man, I was such a nerd. One of my friends once asked me, what's with you and the gentle paper arts? Must be a Mercury Gemini thing. I don't know. Well, my Mercury's in Taurus. Ooh, that one was a little off, but it's not a part that matters. Oop. All right. Hard part's done. All right, we're going to do this way. Line it up. Now here, be careful. Press down real hard. So we're going over a long distance on the straight edge. Boom. And then here, same thing.
You know, like I said, keep your fingers on this side of the straight edge. So, yeah. All right. And then one final cut. Here we go. We're making dreams manifest today. I dreamed of a tetrahedron, and it came to pass. And that's art magic for you, baby. All right, here we go. Any little last bits? Ooh, I didn't cut this out properly. How embarrassing. Qué vergüenza. All right. Ooh, we got one little thing over here. I don't need a straight edge for this. There we go. Let's clean up some of these edges a little bit. So we got some white here, some white there. So this is a situation where we need to go in this direction and be careful. Right up to the edge. Okay, clean that up a little bit. Yes. Or pin mark, that's okay. Like I said, we're not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to get it done. Which is way more important than trying to be perfect. Because you can try to be perfect, but then when you're done, you're in the same place as somebody who just did it. You don't get any bonus points for being perfect. All right. Is that better? It's just a scrape? Yeah, just okay. So now we've got our piece cut out. This we recycle. And then we can go ahead and start folding on those score lines we made. Real nice and easy. And then here's the last one. And now we'll see if my spatial reasoning was correct. Does it line up? Does it work? Ooh, it does. Okay, but now we have to glue it together. Now, this is kind of like a tricky little part because you kind of got to glue all the parts at the same time. Well, you can do this one first. So let's do that first because that'll be a good base to start from. So you when you fold them over, you kind of want to leave them like less than a 90-degree angle, 70-degree angle or so that they stick out a little bit, so that they have a little pressing out, because it's going to be hard to press them into place against the other surface. So we get some glue on there. We don't have to go crazy. And then this goes here. We line it up. Go on. This is what it looks like on the inside. Ooh, okay. Now the hard one. I'm going to press these out a little bit so that they are angled out a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and throw some of this glue on here if it wants to come out of the bottle. Do I have this open all the way? No. That might be my problem. Ah, ha, ha. Solutions. All right, we got that side. We got this side. You know, I did stuff like this when I was a little kid. Like, I remember making Papercraft polyhedra in like 3rd grade or something like that. Elementary school. And it was so awesome to me, but that's just because I love platonic solids. Boom. All right, so we've got all our sides mixed up here. We just let it dry for a bit. We've got some glue marks on here. You could have been better about that, but we have our pyramid. So one thing you can do is you see these white lines here. You can run a Sharpie along them to kind of make them black, but I always have trouble with that because my Sharpie goes everywhere. So Trying to just let it dry. We just got to leave it alone. All right, but we've got our pyramid, our tetrahedron. No, it's not perfect, but it's ours. And it's part, if you make one, you've got one as part of your collection. And I think it's great. I'm going to see if I can find that Sharpie to run along the edges here. Let me do that. Okay. A little Sharpie here. So this is just like not lined up properly, but let's just liken that in a little bit. Just laying right along the edge. Just like that. You might want to do both sides. I think that works out pretty well. Just be careful because it's really easy to slip and just like right into the middle of your tetrahedron, and then it'll be kind of weird. But it'll still be yours. Like I said, we don't need to be perfect. We just need to get it done. Boom. Now here comes the hard one. The one that matters. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we're slipping here. We still got a lot of white here. On this side. I'm going to go over my board here. That's okay. Oh, see, I got it off a little bit. And it's because I was not careful. All right, good enough. We've got our tetrahedron, our pyramid of flame. If you read the Timaeus by Plato, he talks about how fire is represented by the tetrahedron. As it is the least dense of the Platonic solids. In fact, that's where that comes from, the Timaeus. He assigns a different solid to the different elements. So really interesting read. I recommend it to anybody interested in working with the elements or the history of the 4 elements in Western esotericism. So we've got our tetrahedron. Thanks so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you have a good time making your own. And take care. Bye.